Hi, I'm Shelley from Mataunt Quilting, and today I'm going to show you how to make an adjustable carrying strap that you can use on your purses and handbags and duffels, just like this Doable Duffel right here. A carrying strap is not hard to make. It hardly takes any equipment at all, and it might take 10 minutes from start to finish. And the joy is that you can then adjust your carrying strap to make it exactly the size and shape that you need it. So let me show you what you're going to need to get started. First of all, you're going to need some webbing. I would recommend using 60 inches. I think that is a great starting place. And if you need to, you can make yours longer or shorter going forward, but I think 60 inches is probably going to work for a lot of people. Here I've just used a natural cotton webbing, and this is 1.5 inches wide. The first piece of hardware that you're going to need is a slider. And these ones are so called because you can slide. This is what you use to slide and adjust your carrying strap. They come in all different sizes and shapes and finishes, and you can see that even these two are slightly different from each other, so they're from different products. But you're only going to need one of these for the project, so the good news is you're going to have a leftover one for your next project. So you're going to need 1.5 inch slider. You're also going to need 2 swivel snap hooks. And these are called swivel snap hooks because they swivel and they snap, and you can use them to hook onto things. Again, you're going to need 2 of those. And then lastly, you're going to need 2 rings. I prefer the triangle style because when I hook onto these, I find that my swivel snap hook always stays right in the middle of this rather than a D-style hook or ring. And the trick with these though is that they actually have to be attached to your bag before you begin. So it's great to make a carrying strap, but if your bag does not already have these rings attached to it, your carrying strap is going to have nothing to snap onto. So that's what you're going to need for this project. You're also going to want your hardware to match the width of your webbing. So I used 1.5 inch wide webbing, and I'm using 1.5 inch wide hardware. I'm also using the antique brass finish, but you'll find that hardware comes in all different colors and finishes. So let me show you how to do this. You're going to start with your webbing in one hand and your slider in the other, and you're going to come from underneath, go over the top of the center post and down the other side of the center post of your slider. Then you're going to flip it so that the short tail is on top. If your webbing had a wrong side, you would want the 2 wrong sides to be touching like this. From here, I'm just going to tuck this little end under so that I'm going to enclose that cut edge, and I'm going to use my quilter's clips to just hold this in place. And this section here is about 3 inches long. You don't really have to measure it, it's not that important. Just go ahead and fold it over until you've got a short edge. Now from here, I'm going to take this whole unit to my sewing machine, and I'm going to sew a boxed X. So first I'm going to sew a rectangle, and then I'm going to sew through the middle and make an X, and that is going to secure this together. When I'm sewing my carrying straps, I like to color match my thread to the color of the strap. That really minimizes the stitches, and it just means you're not drawing your attention to the color of the stitches on this. So I'm using a nice, this is color 2000 from Aurifil, and this is a cotton thread. Polyester would work just fine as well. So I'm going to take this to my sewing machine and I'll be right back. Okay, I've sewn my boxed X, which is hard to see because I color matched the thread, and I've got this piece secured like so. Now I'm going to flip it so again I can see that short edge is sitting on top, and I'm going to take one of my swivel snap hooks, and I'm going to take it and make sure that when I slide this over the free end, that what I'm seeing, the part that would be touching the inside or the shorter bit, is just this hoop, not the hook part. From there, I'm going to take my free end, and I'm going to do just like I did last time. I'm going to come from underneath and go over top of that center post. So you're going to have a double layer of webbing on top of the center post. So you'll have 2 layers of webbing that go over the center post of your slider. I'm going to pull out just a little bit of a shorter tail here, and I'm going to take my second swivel snap hook, and I'm going to slide that over the free end, if I can. And this time I want the hook to be facing out, just like before. on the sort of inside of it, you just want this little bar to be there. From here, you're going to fold over this short end. And again, you're going to tuck it under. I'm going to clip it using my quilter's clips. And then I'm going to take this once again to my sewing machine and sew another boxed X. Okay, so this is what that should look like. I'm going to sew this closed, and then I'm going to have an adjustable slider. But let me do that one more time, because sometimes you need a second shot at it, don't you? So I'm going to take that one off. I'm going to take off this first swivel snap hook, and I'm going to show it again. All right, so here we go, one more time. I've got my slider that is secured, and I'm going to take the loose end. I'm going to slide a swivel snap hook over the loose end. From here, I'm going to take that end, and I'm not going to twist anything here. I'm going to keep it all organized. It's going to come from underneath and over top of that center post one more time. Pull out a short tab end, and then if we look, you should have 2 layers of fabric that go over top of this center post. From here, I'm going to take my last swivel snap hook, slide it on top of this short end, fold it on top of itself. Maybe I'll just pull out a little bit more there. Tuck in the loose edges, clip this together, sew a boxed X, and then I'll be right back to show you what that looks like, the final product. Okay, so this is what I'm going to take to my sewing machine. I'm back from the sewing machine, where again I sewed a boxed X, and again it's hard to see because of the matching thread color. And that's it. That is a completed carrying strap. So at each end there should be a swivel snap hook, and in the middle is the slider. And the slider is how you can adjust it to make your carrying strap longer or shorter. From here, the only thing that's left to do is to actually attach this to my bag. So I'm going to use the triangle rings that were already sewn into my project, and I'm going to snap the ends of the carrying strap to each of these triangles. And just like that, I've got a carrying strap that's ready to go, so I can carry my bag around with me. Wasn't that easy? I think it's really easy. It's not that hard. Okay, so if you enjoyed this tutorial and you'd like to learn more about bag making, I would love to invite you to join me inside of Duffel Master, which is my online course that will teach you start to finish how to make this beautiful duffel bag called the Doable Duffel. In that course, I'm going to teach you all of the basics of duffel bag making. You're going to learn about zippers, bias binding, hardware, how to make pockets, how to choose fabric, interfacing options, all of the things that you're going to need to know to make this doable duffel. So I hope to see you inside the course, and I wish you happy sewing.